Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Today we're gonna take a oil pan off of a Subaru Impreza. It's a 2011 Impreza, and we're gonna replace the seal and replace the oil pan, and that's the plan for today.
And we're not gonna fuck it up.
Well, I'm gonna have to beep that. Don't worry, this is G-rated. Alright, we're gonna jack it up and take off the tires. Alright, so we're doing that because it just gives me more natural light so I can see what's going on. You don't have to take the tires off, this is just optional. Let's do it. I'm going to take this manifold off, so I'll try to show you what it looks like here. Alright, so this whole thing right here, we got to unscrew that to get to the oil pan right here. So it has 6 bolts right here. Here's one. I took one of them off already, and there's another one right here, and there's another one right here. Right, and there's on this side, it has the same thing. So what I did, I sprayed it with a little bit of a lubricant. I used air crawl for this. And I let it sit for a little bit. Looks like this. Thank you so much. And then I took my impact hammer and I just unscrewed it a little bit just to get it started, and then I'm going to finish it off. I finish it off by hand. I can tell you now, if you're going to do this repair, I highly recommend, because if you look at if you see right here, the tips are going to be kind of rusted off. I'm going to zoom in. All right, there you go. The tip is going to be rusted off, and only here back here is going to have a little bit of the stud left, where the stud's on there. The nut was on there holding on to this stud. So if I would do this repair, this oil repair, to do it properly, I would get new studs and get new gasket right here for the manifold. Okay, so that's my recommendation if you're going to do this. So we're just going to show you. It's like a really awkward camera angle, but we're doing our best. This is these are the bolts right here. So we show you what we're doing. I did it 6 times. This is an extension I got here, 14 millimeter. Sometimes you get the stud, sometimes you get the nut itself. So you gotta, I'll show you the randomness that we pulled out as we did it. Alright, so I get it again. Okay. Almost there. Alright, so in that example right there, I actually got the, is that good? Yeah.
Yep.
I actually got the nut off, right? One of them pulled out the whole stud, so I'll show you at the very end what they look like, and it's kind of hot, so I'm going to put this down. Alright, just do that 6 more times. Cool. These are the 6, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nuts that came off. Here's the nut with the stud. You can see right here, this one is a whole lot more, it's frozen together. So we just pull the whole stud out. So again, like I said, when you're going to do this repair, get new studs, get new nuts for this. It just makes more sense, all right? Before we proceed, we have to remove this a negative terminal from the battery, because we have to disconnect the oxygen sensors from the manifold. So I'm just going to go ahead and, this is a 10 millimeter. So I'm using a 10 millimeter 6-point. There you go. It works really well. I like to use the 6-point instead of the 12-point because the 12-point, they tend to strip these little tiny things. So there you go. That's disconnected now. All right, let that sit, and then we're going to continue. So the manifold is all, you know, screwed off and everything from underneath. So what we want to do now, there are two, we already disconnected the battery terminal. There's two connectors here to like two oxygen sensors. I think they're oxygen sensors, but oops, let me just make sure you can still see. Okay, cool. So right here, I'm going to unclip this sensor. So there's two of them. Let's see if we can get it off. It's kind of hot under here. Alright, so I'm probably gonna need a screwdriver, so 1 second here. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here, it's hard to get to that right there, so I'm just gonna like take this hose off real quick. Okay, cool. So just pull that up out of the way. And then now I can get a little bit more access to the actual tabs. So I push down on the side. Try to slide this one right off. Let's try the other tab. Push down on this one here. So that one comes off. I really hate working on these things, pulling these things off, because I don't like to break stuff. And they're all plastic. So they tend to crack a lot. Let's see. Alright, let me try to spray it a little. That's what we can do. Almost there. It's coming off. Oops, shit. Okay, that was that's one that's one tab. All right, we'll try to get the other one. 1 second. I'm gonna remove this snorkel just to get to the other connector. Instead of like sitting there and fighting with it forever, just go ahead and remove this snorkel. So let's just pop up like that. Center pops out. That's so much better. Okay, so now I have way more room I can work with. Okay, so this tab here, this looks a little, it's not being easy to, it just doesn't want to come off too easily, so let's see. There's a tab at the top. Oh, there you go. You push down on top of that tab and it just pulls right out. So again, remove the snorkel instead of sitting up here and fighting with it for like forever. And then now the manifold is disconnected. And then this has, I'm gonna bring it over so you can see. Okay. Let's see what's happening here. Okay. So right here, these are the two I just disconnected, right? That one's there, that one's there. This lower one has a tab on top, right here. Let's see if you can see it. Okay. This tab right here. Right, this tab right here. Sorry. Push down on top of that, right there, to get. Sorry. It's hard to do. Hold the camera and do this at the same time. I'll try my best. Okay. So right here, right there. Where is my? Okay. Right there, there's a tab. Push down on that tab for the bottom one to release this clip here. It slides right out. This top one here, right? This one right here. You just push down on this tab, on this, to get that out, okay? And that's it. So I'm gonna do now, I'm back underneath the car. I'm gonna go ahead and take this oil and drain it out of the oil pan. So that is a 17 millimeter. So I'm just gonna take a 17 millimeter, take that oil off, that nut off. There we go. So when you do this, right, push upwards into the bolt so that way you can control the oil coming out. So I kind of stay underneath it just to maneuver it a little bit, because if it gets windy, it'll start to blow as it gets lighter, the drips. So let that leak out. So once that's done, I got to go back on top and pull out the dipstick. Yeah, cool. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, let that finish off, and then I'm gonna go back up top, all right? We are back up top. What we wanna do now is just go ahead and open up this cap where we put the oil in. What that's gonna do is gonna increase the airflow, so that way all the extra oil that's like in here, it's gonna get a little bit extra pushed down because there's no air to create a pressure. So all the oil is going to try to drip out a lot more. So it's still, the oil pan is still underneath collecting oil. All right. So you can see it's kind of like dripping a lot less. So we're going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and seal this back up. This oil pan here. I think enough oil should be out of it. Okay, so now that's sealed. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back up top again, all right? Right in here is a 10 millimeter we got to pull out. So what I have is my 1/4 inch, right? And I'll put the socket on so you can kind of see. That's going to help me loosen it up to pull this dipstick out. So it's wobblies, 2 wobblies. All right, so the socket's already on it, so you can see where it's at. Okay, so that should be it right there. So I can pull it up with my hand. Probably not. Looks a little. I'll just keep going. Alright, so it's definitely free. And that's it right there. Okay, so that's a 10 millimeter we got to pull out. So that should get this loose. Yeah, there it is. So that's loose right there. That's the dipstick. Again, that's what this is from here. That's that, the dipstick. All right. And then we're gonna try to slide this, pull this dipstick out like this. Just keep wobbling like that. And it should slide right up out of the oil pan. I'm gonna go check and see underneath, making sure I'm not damaging anything. All right, so right here, we're gonna get the engine mount bolts off. So there's one right here, right here. And if you're kind of lost looking underneath, right, here's the oil pan. Oil pan, this is the back of the car. That's the front of the car, okay? Right here, driver's side, is a bolt right here. It's a little hard to see. Right, it's a 14 millimeter bolt. Just goes like that. See right there? Okay, there's another one right here. Oops. Right there. Okay? So these bolts kind of, you should spray them. So you notice it's all wet around here. I sprayed them with some Crawl. And then I'm going to go ahead and I was going to use my impact hammer, but I was afraid I would break these things off, so I was being cautious. So I would recommend not using an impact hammer. I would go ahead and take the 14 millimeter with a breaker bar, and I'm going to show you. We're going to show you how we pull that off. Okay. All right. So right here, we're going to go use the breaker bar and pull it off. So get a little push. Nice. Look at the breaker bar go. Nice. Okay. So that's it right there. Right. And then once it's loose, right, what you can do is just go ahead and finish it off with a regular old, just a regular wrench like this. I'm going to hand this to the mechanic. Probably need an extension.
Nope, needs an extension.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
This one?
Yeah. I can get you another one if you want. So we're using a 1/2-inch drive. That's all we're doing.
Engine's not gonna drop on my face?
No engine's gonna drop in your face. There's a bar across, and that bar is gonna keep the engine mount and the engine floating.
Okay.
All right, there you go. So that's one, and the other side. Oh, they're free. Yeah. And the other side, we already broke that bolt, so she's gonna just go ahead and pull that bolt off also, so you can see. There you go. Nice. So that's it right there.
Yep. So this here is the golden ticket for getting the back bolts off the oil pan. We tried even something static like this. You can't get to it. So swivel. And the long bendy ones too suck. This is it. Okay?
Can you try it this way? Yeah, see, so that's what it looks like. This is what it looks like with it jacked up. The engine mounts have been, the bolts, the 14mm bolts have been removed. The jack is sitting right, it's not on that pan, but it's not the pan with the transmission fluid. It's the one, it's part of the transmission, but I'll show you what it looks like. Here. When is walk the camera on. Oops, oh boy, camera disaster. Alright, here you go. Okay, look. See right here? It's right there. That's
On the actual transmission.
yeah, it's actually on the transmission right there. So we used 2 blocks. See right there? Yeah, there you go. You can see what it's on, right? So that's the axle right here. It's right where the axle goes in. Okay? This right here is what we're jacked up on. So I'm going to back it out some so you get a perspective of what's going on. Right? And then that's it. Now the oil pan itself, right? We're going to show you how we got up on the there, right? So take a look now.
So before this is jacked up, you really can't see the back bolts at all. And once it's jacked up, you can still almost not see the back bolts at all. The corner ones you can get to, but then there are 2 more in the back. Can you see them?
Totally. Yeah.
So you kind of have to see and feel, but that's what jacking up the transmission did. Is it made it accessible, and it totally works. You can get to them even when it seems like you can't.
Can you share like
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna show you what the extension looked like. Yeah, totally.
And so the reason this swivel is important, the little one, is because otherwise, with a longer socket, you just can't get it straight on. Where are we? I can't see where we are.
Yeah, totally.
Am I on something?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah.
Right? So that's what you do. There's 4 of them all back there, and you're going to need that setup like we described to get to them. And the other ones are going to be pretty easy for moving forward, so
We hope.
let's go ahead and, yeah, so we hope. Right now, see the manifold? This manifold right here is already unscrewed. We're going to drop this down so we can get more space right here to pull this oil pan out. Okay? So we're going to do that manifold, pull it out right now. So this bolt right here, we're going to try to pull this bolt off, right? We already used the breaker bar with it, so it's a 14mm, right? And it's part of the muffler system. We're going to take this out because we want to give ourselves more access to lift the manifold out of the way. So this is the first bolt. So what we did, we sprayed it with some lubricant, and then we put the breaker bar on there and broke the bolt, and then now we're just gonna unscrew it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. There you go. Woo! Hard doing two things at a time. Okay, almost there. That would be nice, but it's kind of hairy. Can you? Let me turn that off. All right, so right here, you can see this is what I was trying to struggle with to pull off, right? So I pulled it out like that. So now that's out. This is a 14-wheeler. I can just go and lift this off like that. But I don't want to do it right now because it's actually holding up the manifold. I don't want it to fall down on me. So I'm going to back out the camera. I'm going to lift it off, and you can see us do it. Okay. Here we go.
Kind of see.
Kind of see? Let's go. Let's put it in that way. So, manifold's coming down. If it's set, we can see it's recording right now. Mm-hmm. Do you mind lifting it down there, and I will lift up here?
I'm trying to lift the clamp.
Yeah, if you can go up over. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Forward
towards
you.
me. Is that possible?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I can like
push a little. No, not really.
I think I can. Can you pull it towards you at all? It's just like
no,
another
can't.
hair.
There's a little hair. Hold on, I can try.
Muscles.
Really? Here we go. Is that it? That's it? Okay. Yay, we did it. Oh my god, I'm stronger than I think.
Do we need to put something under here so there's no stress?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So what we're gonna do is get the other jack stand.
You got it? I mean, you got the muffler.
Yeah, I have the muffler, yeah. Yeah, we'll get another jack stand. I'll put it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You want it from there?
Oh, yeah, right here, sure. Just getting ready to sing a song. Okay.
No?
Yeah. So. There you go.
Okay.
And now we have a lot of space right here to work with. Actually, you know, why don't we place the? Can you like take the jack stand and put it back here?
Yeah.
Yeah. To go get more. Thanks. I like it. Good. Nice.
So much room.
Yeah. It's better than fighting with it. Don't be lazy. Go ahead and take this stuff down, people. Save yourself a lot of time. So what I'm going to do, you see I already have it separated. I'm going to use this pry bar to push, right? So what I did, I went like this. I went pry bar here. I'm push against the metal. Don't push against this plastic part. You really don't want to break it. So I went like that. I just pushed down like that. I went here against this metal, pushed that in, and I pushed down like that. Okay, I just work it all the way around, all right? And that should give you the seal separate. Now here's the thing, right here is the dipstick. I didn't get to pull that out yet. It's kind of hard. So what we're going to try to do is pull this down some, and then try to pull this dipstick out of there. I mean, the container that holds the dipstick out of the oil pan. All right, so just use a pry bar, go all the way around. We're doing this because we don't need this oil pan. We're going to replace the oil pan. If you're going to keep the oil pan, just be careful because this will warp the oil pan itself. So don't use this. I don't know what to tell you to try to do if you're not going to replace the oil pan. So best of luck.
And we also bang the oil pan a bit with a rubber mallet before doing this. Okay. That's it?
So there's 3 bolts right here. 1, 2. There's another one right back here. 3. I pulled that one out already. You have to pull all 3 of these down to get this pipe out of the way. All right, and that's going to give you the clearance to pull this oil pan.
In the way.
Okay, because the oil pan is bumping up against this.
Your hand's in the way.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So again, I'll show you. So you have 1 right here, 2 right there, and then 3 right back here. I already pulled that one, so loose that is. And this will be able to move this out of the way so that we can get the oil pan out of the way.
And this is inside the oil pan. The oil pan's off, just not all the way out.
Exactly. Hey, can we get a shot of this like beautiful thing that gave us a difficult time? So you see this right here? This is the hose that slides down inside of the oil pan. It was really difficult for us to get this off. You can see there's 2 rings right there. Warning, it could possibly take a long time to get this off. A lot of pulling, so just keep trying, keep pulling at it, okay? Spray it with some lubricant, pull on it, spray it with some lubricant, go eat dinner, come back, spray it some more, and then keep pulling, all right? And that should take care of it. The oil pan's, it's gone now. You can see there's nothing there. I had to like pull it this way, pull the manifold down to get it out down here. Okay, so go like there and pull down on the manifold and just yank it down and then you're free. And then it looks like this. I want to show you right here. Excuse me 1 second. This is what you're going to end up with. So you can see right here the this is out. Right, that's the part that I unscrewed. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and get rid of this oil pan and redo the seals. Alright, so you see what we're using right here? This is like this is Pentec gasket remover. And we're going to go ahead and clean around the, spray it around the, so you can almost see it happening. Yeah, there it is. So we're just going around the gasket to like help take that gasket off. It's got to sit for a little bit, so I should be able to scrape off all the old gasket really easily. So just go ahead and do that. Get in there. Get all generous. Mm-hmm. Look at that. She's just like giving it away. Like Trump, giving it away. It's all the wrong people. Getting Trumpy with it. Come on, let's see. Yeah, that's it. Wow, look at that. Go Putin. Get it, girl. So nice. Yeah, it's chemically. We can see all that little white foamy stuff in the video there. That's definitely from the cleaner. I mean the whatever gasket remover stuff. So don't go ahead and lick it. Wouldn't be a good idea. Like that. See? There you go. So I'm gonna clean this off before I put this back. We're in the reverse stage of this repair. So far so good. We didn't break anything. I'm sorry. It was a little off-camera incident. Just saying. A little off-camera incident. Right. So I'm using this engine degreaser. It's really it's GMO free, good and healthy. So don't worry if you get it in your mouth. Especially if you're off-camera and you got sprayed by accident.
Just spit.
That's all. Just spit. Yeah. So see like. So I'm just going to clean this off really nicely. This is a filter, by the way. It pulls the oil back up into the engine. So let's give that a nice clean. And the Pentex gasket cleaner works really well, just to let you know. It does a really good job at removing the gasket stuff. So you might have to do it like 2 rounds of it, so just to help yourself with a little bit of a residue. We use the plastics, yeah. So see this right here? This is so important. Use these plastic scrapers because you don't want to ruin the metal when you're scraping against it. If you use like a razor blade and stuff, it puts little gashes in the metal, and then you're going to make it possible that you're going to have leaks again through those little tiny gashes. So use something plastic. It'll save your the aluminum from getting any gashes and scratches. So go ahead and use this again, okay? We got this from like Advanced Auto. So again, I'm going to be careful off camera because there's going to be some engine degreaser coming your way. All right, so it's going to spray that with some engine degreaser. Get it all brand new. The oil pan, it doesn't matter because we're not going to use that same oil pan. So we have another oil pan that we don't really need to worry about this one. I'm going to finish this off with a little bit of brake parts cleaner. Okay. Yep, no harm to the environment, absolutely none.
But I'm high.
But I'm really high. Off camera high, on camera high. This is better than edibles. as long as you don't think you're gonna kill yourself. So here we go, look at that. See how shiny? It's better than new. You gotta love life, man. Just cleaning our oil pan filter middle of the week. That's cool. Alright, and that's it. See? So we're good. And then we're gonna go ahead and install that back after we finish off the gasket. So the order is we're gonna finish off the gasket, all this stuff around. We're doing 2 rounds of that. And we're gonna slide this into the new oil pan, let it sit in there, put the gasket around the oil pan, and then we're gonna screw this in because this has to be in before the oil pan because the way it's shaped, sorry, it'll look like that. The way it's shaped, it's hard to get it off of that little metal lip back there. Okay. All right, you'll see because we'll show it to you how we do it. So here we have the gasket. It's all kinds of like clean right here. Really nice. We did a good job. We did 3 rounds with that Pentex gasket cleaner, and as you can see, it's super clean. All the gaskets been removed, and we also did the oil filter. So you should probably do your oil filter because you're gonna have to change the oil anyway, right? So give you another close-up shot right there. Oh, nice. Nothing but metal. Hold on. Okay. Oh, sorry. Move a little bit this way. There you go. All right. So again, you can see it's how clean and shiny that metal is. And after I did the 3 rounds, what I did after was I got I sprayed it with some brake parts cleaner, and there's no gashing on the metal, which is most important because you don't want it to leak. Okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and put the seal around the new oil pan, and then screw it on and wait for 24 hours. All right. So I need to like cut this top for the gasket. So I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna go up 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm gonna do a little angle like this. Okay, and that's what I'm gonna use for that's the diameter I'm gonna use for the actual gasket. The gasket has to go all the way around on the inside, okay? So make sure you put this on the inside of the holes, not on the outside. All right, so I'm gonna go like this. Here we go. right, so what we're gonna do right now, we're just gonna put those 10mm bolts back into the oil pan. That filter was really easy to get on.
He's full of shit.
I'm just saying, I really thought it was easy.
If you can get the pan out without taking that filter off, that's what you should do.
That's what you should do, which it is possible. You just have to get the right angle. But we didn't get the right angle. But now we know, and now we're telling you that you can do it if you really can try.
You can do it.
You can do anything. So again, you're just gonna we're just hand tightening these in the very beginning because the gasket says it needs to be wait for an hour before we actually tighten it down to torque spec. So we're just gonna go all the way around and tighten this just to hold it in place. So that's it. We'll do that for all 14, and then wait for an hour, and then tighten it down to torque spec. Okay. So we'll show you that when we get to that point. Well, that's not really. We probably won't show you that because, you know, it's torque spec. Just tighten it. And I'll give you the inches per pound torque. All right? There you go. Good luck. All right, I want to show you something. So here's the dipstick right here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. All right. Oops, there it is at the top of the frame. Okay. Oops, right there. All right, so this is, oh boy. Alright, here it is. So that's a dipstick right here, right? Goes like that. Right? It's got two washers on there. Make sure you replace those 2 washers, okay? But we made a bit of a mistake when we installed this oil pan. So this is to help you not to make this mistake. This is a beer to fix, right? So the oil pan's all set. It's good. Right here in the oil pan, the dipstick goes right into this space right here. The problem is though, right? It's you can't really get it in after you put the oil pan up. So in other words, you need to put this into the oil pan before you screw it in. Other than that, I'm going to show you what kind of stuff we're dealing with up top, okay? So take a look at this. I'm going to have to do a whole lot of other stuff if I don't want to take the oil pan down and do it all again. This is what I'm going to have to end up doing. Ta-da! See? I had to take the entire everything off right here. I'm gonna have to remove this, pull this alternator out to get to the brackets right here. I have to use this, like, this is a trick. You can use this if you want to use your belt again. You just take some soft metal, slide it underneath. I just go like that with it, turn that like that, and then piece the metal underneath there, and I'll slide the belt off. That's how I'm going to get the belt off so I can reuse the belt, because this belt is new. And then over here is the dipstick. So I'm going to show you something about this dipstick right here. Right? So nobody else is talking about this on the internet that I can tell you of, right? So if you look right here, right, at this dipstick, you'll notice that it can't go anywhere. It's trapped. You see that? Oops, sorry. Try this again. The dipstick is trapped right here. Nothing I can do. I can't get it past that point right there. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what I mean. So you can't get past. So I can't go up to slide it into that hole, right? So I have to take this bracket off right here that holds this air conditioner. And once I pull that off, then I can have the space, the clearance to go up and slide it down. So do it right the first time so you don't have to pull the alternator and this off, so it just make your life a lot easier, okay? Cool. And if you're going to pull this stretch belt off, you're going to definitely need a stretch belt tool to put it back on. You have no choice unless you're going to damage the teeth of the actual, you know, whatever. You get the point. All right, cool, of the pulley. All right, so again, make sure you slide that dipstick into the dipstick container into the oil pan before you put the oil pan all the way up. So right here, right, we took everything out. Alternator's out. Alternator's gone. Here's the power air conditioner compressor. So you can see it's free. I took all the 4 bolts. So one here, there's another one back here, and there's one right here. So all those are free now. So I just move it out of the way, and look at this. The dipstick can go all the way up. You can pull it all the way out even if you want to. See? So that way now, once it's up like this, That's the clearance you need to slide it back down. So that's how you do it. It's super easy. This is not really hard to do. Again, if you're going to pull these belts off, you're going to need a specialty tool to put this air conditioner belt back on, because it's a stretch belt. There's no tensioner on it. Okay? So again, just take everything off, and then you have full access to sliding this up as much as you need to. Alright, and I'll show you what I mean from underneath. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the, now I have the clearance, try to slide it in. Alright, here we go. Let's give it a shot. I got my glasses on because a lot of shit falls underneath here. And
Do you need to go up more?
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to really move this
Yeah.
the way.
You good? Okay, keep going.
Up higher?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So I need to turn. It needs to. Oh my god. Again. Like, change. Turn it. Yeah, like that. And then pull up. Can you get up? Yeah, right there. And then pull up again. Almost. Sorry. Pull up again.
That's high.
As high as it goes.
Hold it.
Okay. I'm almost there. I need to push it towards the driver's side. The other way then. How about turn it then? Yeah. It's like almost there, but not there.
What?
It's like I need to bend it or something. So we got the dipstick back on right here. Just give it a good push down. If you're concerned about how far it needs to go, you can see it. You can't go any further because you don't really have much of a choice. The shape of the this shape of this right here is going to let you know how far it can go. All right, so you just measure it. If it goes to there, then you've succeeded. Okay, so that's it. That's the dipstick.